why the spiritual process has become what it is. When a seed of any kind in the world can find its ultimate potential simply through simple nourishment. A mango tree, if it finds soil and nourishment, it will find its sweetness. A mango tree does not need a guru to produce sweetness. When this is so, why is it a human being, at least for the life that you know generally in this planet, a human being who seems to be of the highest potential of all life on this planet, why is it that by himself he's not able to get to his ultimate nature? What is this trap? What is the nature of this trap? Why outside help is needed? Why can't it be an inside job? It is just like if you were trapped in a prison, if you were imprisoned, the very nature of the prison is such. The prison is made in such a way that it does not provide tools to break through. Everything that could help you to break through has been taken away in some way. If it has to be an inside job, then all the prisoners, or at least a substantial number of prisoners, should get together and push the gates or the walls or whatever. But if an individual prisoner makes an attempt to get out by himself, all by himself, the chances of him getting out of the prison are quite remote. Most prisoners who have been sentenced to life, though that's not the place they want to stay, much longing is there to get out, never make it, because they don't have outside help. But if you can organize all the prisoners together and force your way out, you could do it. But the very nature of these prisoners are such, it's very rare that they get organized. Whether it's in the prison or it's in an ashram, all of them getting organized like one organism and functioning like that is rare. We're doing quite well, but still, it is not a one organism. It has many limbs which tend to move in different directions. So outside help becomes inevitable. And somebody who is not in the same limitations, somebody who is not imprisoned within himself, somebody who is not contained by the physical cage, which is the body. Someone who is free. That kind of help becomes inevitable and necessary. This is the reason why the wise traditions, particularly of the East, have always insisted on an enlightened guru, or if he passes on, a strong sangha or a satsang where people are together as one. Every realized being, before he left, he always tried to organize his people into one group. Those who did not do it, the moment they left, the very spiritual process lost its relevance. When the master was there, it worked. The moment he is gone, the very spiritual process becomes irrelevant because they did not organize a strong organism of people. Gautama strived very hard to establish the sangha. Jesus spoke a little. Very small sangha he had, only 12. In that one is a spy. Only 11, not even a dozen. So, try to organize those 11 people into a strong organism. When the Guru is alive, the Sangha is not so important. But when he is alive, the necessary organization, if it is not done, after he is gone, it is impossible to put people together. The moment you're trapped in this mechanism, which you call as myself, which is self-created, because who you are right now is just a memory of the past. Everything that you are right now is just a memory. Both memory and imagination have no existential relevance. They're not true. It's for this reason that for ages they went on insisting that everything that you are experiencing right now, your very life and your very existence as an individual is a dream, it's maya, it's an illusion. If it is maya, why do I suffer right now? My body is aching. Is that maya? My knees are hurting right now, sitting here. Is this maya? You must understand this. Whatever you believe becomes your reality. You walked into the forest, they're not letting you go there these days. Because yesterday night you must have heard the elephants were close by. They're wanting to come to the ashram. from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. they were trying to get into the ashram and our people were bursting crackers. You heard that? You didn't hear? You didn't hear the crackers at least? No? You really sleep well. So, if you walk into the forest, and if you fear snakes, you're walking and you just saw a tree branch, a dead branch lying there, and you thought it's a king cobra. It looks like that usually. In the moonlight, it looked like a king cobra. And someone behind you sighed. Some people are always sighing, and you thought the snake is hissing too. The moment you thought it's a snake, your whole body reacted to that. You start sweating, you start getting paralyzed, fearful. Everything that needs to happen with a snake happened. Just because you believed it is so. There is no such thing there. It doesn't matter, but you believe it is so. So that's the way it works for you. Let's say you're walking in the forest, really there is a king cobra with his hood raised, standing up 6 feet tall. You know, king cobra can stand up to 6.5 to 7 feet tall, looking at you as dinner. But you don't know. It's too dark, you cannot see it. Everything is just fine with you. It's like picnic, isn't it? Because you believe it's safe. The very nature of how you are made right now is, whatever you believe becomes your reality. When this is so, this complex impressions of memory that's been taken in, this huge heap of impressions which has been manipulated into different shapes and forms according to your thought and emotion, has become such a complex prison that to figure out your way through that is not possible, because who you are itself is controlled by that. You build a prison, and this was not built with the intention of imprisoning yourself. This prison was built with the intention of self-preservation. When you build a wall to preserve yourself, the walls that you build for self-preservation are also the walls of self-imprisonment. Just takes a little while to realize that. So once you build this wall with complex amalgamation of memory and imagination, and emotion involved. Now, your very software is such, it is not geared to cross this wall. You must understand that you are not even going and knocking your head on the wall, because your software is geared to only just run within the walls, never even go and touch the wall. Unless you become aware enough, unless you become conscious enough to become conscious of those dimensions of memory which are on the unconscious levels of your memory bank, unless you move to that space, till then you don't even touch the wall. because your software keeps you well within the wall space, never even makes an attempt. Within the prison, you'll seek freedom. Within the prison, you seek power, you seek freedom. There is some power and freedom, you know. Inside the prison, there's a whole kingdom. Somebody is running a whole kingdom inside. He's the boss there, he runs the whole kingdom there, he manages things there. He feels like a king inside a prison. So within the prison, you can seek a certain amount of power and freedom. That is allowed. But once the longing to go beyond the prison comes, if you become powerful within the prison, then you won't make an attempt ever to get out of the prison. Such a longing will not come. People, the prisoners who are convicted in a prison for short term, don't get involved with all this because they're just eager to get out. Those who are there for life, they know there is no way out of it. They're forming kingdoms inside because they know anyway they're going to be in the prison for the rest of their life, so they are trying to make something out of it. Find some kind of meaning to an imprisoned life. So, outside help unfortunately becomes necessary, because without outside help, you won't even realize there is another possibility. You will start seeking freedom and power within the prison spaces. And generally, most prisons in the world are very orderly. They're kept well. Everybody gets up on time, goes to bed on time, eats on time, everything happens on time. It's a very orderly arrangement. Because for people who manage the prison, this order is the safety. If there is a disorderly moment, they can't figure out what's happening there. But a prison which is very orderly is very hard to escape from. So if you get very organized within yourself, you will see that prison becomes very hard to break. People who are very organized and controlled, you will see they will come to all kinds of programs, but nothing is happening. I'm very disciplined, I'm perfect, but all kinds of insane people are going crazy, but nothing is happening to me is always the question, because a very orderly prison is always a secure prison. The more secure a prison is, the further away from freedom you are. It needs a little chaos, but if chaos goes beyond a point, then it becomes unmanageable. When things are chaotic, easier to break through the walls. So to maintain a balance of a certain order and a certain level of chaos is lots of complex management. Once it happened, a surgeon, a field marshal or a general and a politician met in the coffee shop of a golf club. All of them retired. So the surgeon doesn't have his scalpel, the general doesn't have his guns, the politician doesn't have his power or his people. So they were just talking. And the surgeon said, of all the professions in the world, my profession of being a surgeon is the oldest profession. The other two asked, how so? So he said, you know, before this Adam and Eve, it was just Adam. And Adam's one rib was taken out, from that rib, Eve was made. Who else but a great surgeon can do that? So, it is the oldest profession. The general said, no, you're missing a point. Before even Adam came, do you remember it says that there was chaos and order was brought. Who else but a good soldier can bring order to such a situation? Soldier's job was the first thing in this creation. The politician chuckled and said, all that is fine, but who created the chaos? So, managing chaos, just enough so that your system doesn't get too orderly and the prison doesn't become too strong that it can't be broken, it can only be done by somebody who is not in the prison. One who is in the prison cannot do that. If he creates chaos, he will create totally destructive chaos. Only somebody who is not sentenced can create such a thing. It's because of this, traditions always insisted on a live guru, and where the situations were conducive, these gurus demanded total surrender. Where it was not, they talked elaborate philosophies. Krishna very unabashedly said, you have to surrender to me, there is no other way. He never feared. It never occurred to him that somebody may think he seems to be too egoistic. Saying that, I'm everything, you must surrender to me, is a very dangerous statement in today's world. But he never felt like that. He lived in a situation where he could simply say, I'm everything, you must surrender to me, there is no other way. In recent times, we have not had such freedom to say such things. You have to weave it around and weave it around and weave it around and weave it around before you ever bring people to such a state. Here in this culture, people have been trained to surrender. Right from their childhood, wherever you take your children, children are told, first thing is bow down. Anybody elderly, you see, first bow down, touch their feet. This is because the whole culture, the whole nation at one time lived with a single-minded purpose of ultimate liberation. The whole population in this land, in this part of the world, was completely dedicated to ultimate liberation, mukti.